Hey everyone, welcome back to Olive Gray Avenue. My name's Ruth and this week is week 7 of the One Room Challenge.
And today we'll be addressing this dresser.
We actually bought this dresser about a year ago with the total intention of refinishing it for this room, and it's just been sitting in the garage. So now is the time we're going to do that. We're going to refinish it in a few stages: sanding, painting, and creating a new top.
All the hardware has been removed. Some sanding attempts have been made down here. What I'm going to do is we're going to just rip off this table top, and then we're going to be making a DIY countertop out of concrete.
It might seem a little unconventional to be putting a dresser in a bathroom. However, if you remember from the first episode with all of our plans about this space, linked right up here, you will remember that this is a huge room with a huge space that has no purpose. So we'll at least put a dresser there. Even if it's gonna be empty, it'll look like it has more of a purpose, and tie the room together. So make sure you hang around to the end of the video because I think creating a new top is gonna be amazing, and I can't wait to show y'all what I've been dreaming up in my head. So make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoy this video or you learn something.
The first thing we're going to be knocking out on this guy is all of this sanding. Something you may have noticed when I was doing the initial two, if you caught it, was trying to get in between these little crevices, between the main faces. It is one solid piece of wood all the way across, but trying to get into this groove becomes very difficult because it's not a square edge. So you may have noticed that I was in here kind of with another sheet of sandpaper, just trying to use my finger to get in there, and it wasn't really quite working, and it's kind of just messing up the sandpaper itself. I'm just going to go through a bunch and just waste it. A little tip I want to give you guys that I kind of came across was I found something that's kind of rounded the same way as this edge here. What I can do is take the sandpaper and just roll it up a little bit in there, and now I have a rounded piece of sandpaper, and it's got a backing on it, so it's kind of like solid, rather than me squishing it in there, and it's just, I'm hoping that the sandpaper will get that edge in there. And then once I'm in there with this, I can kind of just use it as a handle as well, and I can just go back and forth, and I start getting that entire little rounded edge without deforming that actual shape. Just another quick tip, let's finish this up. 2 drawers to go, and then the entire body. Ta-da! So we finished the drawers. The palm sander and doing it by hand, like combining those two really does help out. Now we move on to the actual body. We've taken the drawers out, we've sanded them, sanded the front of this, which is where all the real wood is. We've stuffed the sides up with the sandpaper so to take the paint really well. We've taken the top off of this. Next steps, the paint, and simultaneously we'll make that countertop, the sticker.
So Wagner was nice enough to provide us with this huge, beautiful spray tent. It fits the whole dresser, it fits in the garage, and you can have this outdoor and stake down, but we have it in here, it fits just perfectly, and so I won't get any spray from the paint splattered anywhere, and it'll keep it nice and contained. I can't wait to use it. All right, this baby is all painted. It's drying right now. I am filthy. I have paint all over me. It took probably about 20 minutes to paint the whole dresser and the drawers and do multiple coats. So I'm really happy with this tent too. It made it so much easier. I didn't have to worry about any overspray or anything like that. So we are gonna let this dry and then we will assemble. So now we have the dresser done. We're going to make the top for it out of concrete. So we already have the top ripped off and now we just need to make the concrete slab. So we have this maker board for the bottom and then we're gonna build our sides out of these trim pieces and just rip them down the center. So we already made our marks for the sides of the slab and then for the length of the box and the width. So we just need to cut these down and build our box. All of our pieces cut down. This is actually a PVC type material. I would recommend using that all the way around. We're actually using scraps. So these sides are wood, but this will be good because it's plastic and none of the concrete will absorb into it. And so now we're gonna build the box by drilling these pieces together and then we will attach the box to this maker board and then we'll go to the next step. So we just flipped over the maker board and put our frame on the bottom so that we could trace the outline of it so that when we're attaching it from the bottom, we know that we are hitting it on the right spot.
Two, three. Hey! Now we have to add some caulk.
Okay, so we have our box built and what we are going to do now is line these cracks with caulk so that the cement doesn't seep under and they're seamless seams. Just a thin or not thin bead of caulk and then we will smooth it just like normal and then it'll be sealed. Okay, now we have let this mold sit overnight just to make sure the caulk was extra dry. Now I'm going to mix up our mix to pour the concrete counters. I want to take a minute to give a shout out to Michael Builds. He's who we got this tutorial from and it's pretty brilliant. If y'all want more information than I gave, you can check him out. I'll link his video up here. Okay, so we're going to mix up the mix that we're going to use for this countertop. All I have is some mortar mix from Home Depot. Flow control, this stuff is magic, just wait and see. 2.5 quart bucket, and then a large mixing bucket. Then I have this mixer attachment. This is what I'm gonna put on my drill to mix it all up.
Whoa, that's dope.
So here we are in the process. We are letting this cure. It is sitting there, it's been there maybe about 20 minutes. It's actually turning this light white gray color. So I wanted to address a couple things. The first batch of mortar mix that we tried to mix up, I did the measurements right, but I put in all the water and then I dumped the full bag in and tried to mix it. Don't do that. I thought I was following the directions correctly, maybe not, it didn't work. It literally like solidified in the bucket. So we had to dump it in here. This bucket we can't use actually because it's just full of concrete right now. And all of this is just waste, unfortunately. So since we had that, wasted a bag of the mortar mix, so I couldn't do the full 2 bags that I wanted to do. I wanted this to be 2 inches deep. I wanted it to fill this whole thing up. It's about 1 inch right now, and I just decided it's okay. I didn't really want to go buy another bag of mortar mix. It is what it is. You live and you learn, and I'm telling you all this so that you don't make the same mistakes, or when you do make a similar mistake, you can figure out how to rectify it. So what we did, we filled the bucket full of water and then gradually dumped in the mortar mix. Steve was actually dumping it in and I was mixing it at the same time so that it didn't get overwhelmed. Kind of like baking. A lot of things, you know, say to add the flour gradually. Same thing here, add the mortar mix gradually. Don't do it all at one time because you'll just end up with a big hunk of concrete. So it just didn't work out. Do better. Put in the water and then mix in the mortar mix gradually. Wow, that is like perfect. How did I tell you? It is so much better than I could have even imagined. I love that Steve sanded all the way down to the wood grain. That way when I put the milk paint over it, it shows the nice wood grain through. I was originally thinking of gold knobs, but I'm so happy I went with these iron ones. It's kind of a monochromatic look and I think they look beautiful. But by far, this concrete top is my favorite. It was so incredibly easy to make. I love the way the top came out. It's so slick and smooth with the maker board we used. I'm literally looking for other places that we can make cement tops for. This ends week 7 of the one room challenge. If you know what that means, next week is reveal week. So I'm going to be adding a few accessories, adding a custom built mirror, and finishing this puppy up. Can you even contain your excitement? Because I can't. Come back next week to see the full room reveal. See you then.
And today, I almost fell.